Good morning, students. Once again, we all are present for our biology class. Students, today we'll continue with the same chapter that we already started last week. That is, lesson 2, classification of the living world. Students, last week we have learnt about that why there was a need for classification. There was a need for classification because it was not possible to study and remember the characteristics of all the living organisms one by one. So, to make this study easier, biologists, they have identified, named and grouped them into groups on the basis of their similar characteristics. Now, children, as it has already been explained to you that the two kingdom classification did not work out. So the scientists decided to revise the two kingdom classification into 5 kingdom classification. So in today's class, we will discuss about the 5 kingdom classification, in which first we will discuss about the first kingdom, kingdom Monera. This kingdom, Monera, consists of unicellular prokaryotic organisms. All bacteria, including the photosynthesizing cyanobacteria, fall under this kingdom. I hope you all remember the meaning of unicellular and prokaryotic. Unicellular means made up of single cell or one cell, and prokaryotes means the nucleus doesn't have a membranes. So, the nucleus is lacking the membranes. It is not bound in a membranes. Now, in the given diagram, I have drawn a rough diagram of bacteria in which you can see the cell wall, plasma membranes, and the nuclear material. You can see it is scattered in the cytoplasm. It doesn't have a membranes around it. Now we talk about some of the important characteristics of bacteria. Number 1, bacteria are the first living organisms to inhabit the earth. Inhabit means to be present or to live on the earth. Second is, they are present almost everywhere in soil, water, air, sewage, hot springs, and everywhere. Thirdly, the nuclear material is present or scattered in cytoplasm, which just now I have shown you in the diagram also. The very important thing about the bacteria is that their cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Now, we talk about the shape of the bacteria. Based on the shapes, bacteria can be divided into 4 groups. Number 1, round shaped bacteria, which are known as cocci. Number 2, rod shaped, which are known as bacilli. Number 3, spiral shaped, which are known as spirilla. And number 4, comma shaped, which are known as vibrio. So, how many types of bacteria are there according to their shapes? There are 4 types. They are round shaped, rod shaped, spiral shaped, and comma shaped. Now, we come to the nutrition. Nutrition means the food. If we talk about the nutrition, only a few types of bacteria are autotrophs. Autotrophs means they prepare their own food. The vast majority of bacteria are heterotrophs. Some of these led a saprophytic existence, that is, they obtain nutrition from dead and decaying plant or animal matter. Now we talk about the next type of heterotrophs, that is parasitic bacteria. They live on or in other plants and animals' body and obtaining their nourishment from them. The third type of heterotrophs are commensals. Commensals bacteria, they benefit from their host's body without harming the host. So they are not doing any harm to their host body. Although they are getting their food from it, but they are not harming them. Now the last type of heterotrophs which are described here are symbionts. They benefit from the host and are useful to the host too. It means that benefit from the host means that they are getting their nourishment or nutrition from their host body, and in return they are helping their host too. How? As they live in the intestine of the host and they break down the complex food into the simpler ones, and helping the host. So we can say वो उनसे अपना न्यूट्रिशन भी लेते हैं और बदले में उनको फ़ायदा भी पहुंचाते हैं. Now we talk about the next topic, that is the beneficial bacteria. There are many bacteria which are beneficial to us. Beneficial means useful to us. Some beneficial actions of bacteria are described below. So let's see the first point. Preparation of curd, cheese from milk is due to bacterial action. It is that, children, do you know the dairy industry uses a genus of bacteria called Lactobacillus. Lactobacillus bacteria is responsible for converting the milk into curd and cheese. Now the next one is production of vinegar, wines and alcohol from fruit juices is helped by bacteria. They react on the fruits and fruit juices and convert them into vinegar and wines. The next point is bacteria make meat soft by breaking down tough muscles fiber. Yes, it's very true. Bacteria present in the intestine of cows, buffaloes, as they are living, some of the bacteria living in our intestine also. Just now I explained you about the symbiotic bacteria. Now this bacteria also, they live in the intestines of cows, buffaloes, etc. Help in digestion of grass and plants. How? By breaking down the cellulose present in them. As you know, grass and plants, they belong to the kingdom Plantae, or they are the plants, and the plant cell. This plant cell has got a cell wall which is made up of cellulose. So this type of bacteria, what they are doing, they are breaking down the cellulose present in the grass and plants and help them to be digested by the cows and buffaloes. Symbiotic bacteria living in the root nodules of the leguminous plant absorb atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into nitrogenous compound, and this is done by Rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria, it lives within the roots of the leguminous plant. Leguminous plants such as pea, gram, bean, उनके roots में रहते हैं and they are forming the nodules. And this bacteria, what this bacteria is doing, they convert the nitrogen present in the air and form that nitrogen into nitrate, and this process, the whole process is known as nitrogen fixation. So they are getting nutrition from the host plant, जिसकी leguminous plants की roots में रह के उनसे nutrition लेते हैं, and in return what they are doing, they are, when the plant dies, the nitrogen in its body is released into the soil and can be used by the other plants. So we can call them the symbiotic bacteria. Denitrification bacteria convert excess nitrate in the soil into free nitrogen. The next point is anaerobic bacteria decompose animal waste to biogas, which is used as a domestic fuel. Let me explain you about this. Under certain conditions, the decomposition of organic waste by bacteria produces biogas, which is a cheap and renewable source of energy for cooking and generating electricity. Now the next point, some bacteria also help tanning of leather. Tanning of leather means processing of leather. Bacteria decompose the dead remains of plants and animals and help in the return of nutrients to the soil. So children, we have seen the so many useful acts of bacteria. Now we talk about some of the bacteria which are harmful to us. So some harmful action of bacteria are described below. Bacterial infection causes spoilage of food such as souring of milk, putrefaction of meat, rotting of fruits and vegetables. Bacteria Staphylococcus and Clostridium cause food poisoning by producing toxins in the food. Many diseases are caused by bacteria also. For example, tuberculosis, tetanus, cholera, typhoid, diphtheria, pneumonia, leprosy, etc. are caused by bacteria. Bacteria are also responsible for causing disease in animals and plants. Staphylococcus could lead to several skin diseases such as eczema. So bacteria are also responsible for causing disease in human beings, plants and animals. So children, today what we have learned from this kingdom Monera, we have learned that monerans are the unicellular prokaryotic organisms, and the organisms that fall under this kingdom are bacteria. So we have learned the characteristics of bacteria, the different shapes of bacteria, their mode of nutrition, their usefulness, their harmfulness. So many things we have learnt about bacteria in the kingdom Monera. So children, with this I wind up here. In my next class, I will explain you about the next kingdom, that is kingdom Protista.